What's happening, guys? Safety Liner C2 here. I'm redoing the room a little bit. This bookcase used to be right here, and I need a new nightstand and, just kind of moving stuff around. Got rid of the dresser and all that. You don't really care. You'll see Molly moving around back somewhere. She's behind the chair right now. There she is. And last thing about question of the month, I'm gonna start trying to do them at the beginning of the month. I think it makes more sense to do it at the beginning of the month than the middle of the month, compared to like what I've been doing. So that's why there was no February question of the month. I wanted to push it to the beginning of March, and let's try and keep it consistent like that at the beginning of the month, the first week or so. Anyways, let's go ahead and review last month's question of the month, or January's question of the month, rather, which was, what do you think is going to happen in the industry this year? And let's see what y'all had to say. Alright, we only have one video submission this month. Don't forget, if you guys want to make my life a little bit easier or explain yourself better, you can submit videos. Information on how to do so is in the description. Anyways, that came from Parker 05A3RE. And let's see what Parker had to say.
Hey guys, it's me again, Parker, also more well known as 05A3RE. Just doing a video on industry predictions for the question of the month. Now, what I'm actually thinking is that IC will probably bring back the FE, and I know that it's probably not the enthusiasts they're really caring about here, but it's mainly just all the transportation companies and not the enthusiasts, which I totally understand because we're not the more important thing. We're not the more important thing. But they might be bringing back the FE because they might need a front engine, because Bluebird's got a front engine, Tom's got a front engine. Bluebird's front engine is selling pretty well. And I'd be able to jump into the market because my district doesn't really care for rear engines anymore. And what we actually could be doing is, since Bluebird does not have a propane option that is a front engine, we could be doing a thing where if IC would bring back the FE, they could have it in like a natural gas or a propane version. I don't know much about alternate fuels with IC. I just know it mainly with Bluebird. IC could be bringing back the FE. Bluebirds, they just redesigned the vision. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, there's pictures on here now. It was last time I checked, there wasn't. So they just redesigned the vision to whatever this thing is that I hate. I don't like that grill. I find the plastic insert lights are starting to grow on me. And I think that Thomas, I really don't know. Thomas, I haven't really been thinking about Thomas for a while though. Like, I don't know, because Thomas might be they might be starting to make all their buses, well, all their C2s natural gas, because I haven't seen just a regular diesel C2 on the road in my area, at least for a while. So yeah, that's probably going to do it. And yeah, thanks for watching, and bye.
Alright, so let's go ahead and break down everything that Parker said. Let's start with the ICFE. Alright, so straight up, I don't think that IC is going to be bringing back the FE this year. Next year, maybe 5 years down the road, I don't know. I don't think it's going to be right here, right now, though. Now, if I remember correctly, the ICFE was discontinued due to sales almost 10 years ago. And if you really look at the ICFE, you can kind of piece together as to why it was not doing so hot in sales. It has practically been the same since the 90s. It's the same design, and that goes with the ICRE as well. They're the same design from the 90s. There was no major updates to them other than branding and just a few updates to go along with time. But other than that, there's no major difference. And you gotta remember, the EF had just been redesigned sometime in there, with the EFX coming out in 2012, 2013, I believe, so not too long after it got discontinued. And then the D3 was also being introduced around the same time that the FE went out of production. So Bluebird and Thomas are both updating their stuff, but IC hadn't done anything since it came out other than just a few cosmetic changes here and there. But they just weren't major enough. Now let's also look at it this way from IC's perspective. When we have multiple products that are out on the production line and one of them is just not selling as well, it makes sense to cut it so that we can keep production costs down for the other vehicles so that we're not having to bring in all these extra chassis that are just sitting around or having to do a special sort of, maneuver on this bus that you wouldn't have to do on a CE or an RE. That means that IC is saving money, which can then push that saved money to the school districts or the contractors or whoever's buying the buses and ultimately create better products because you have less stuff to focus on. Quality over quantity. Alright, now is it unreasonable to say that the ICFE could come back? It most certainly could come back. But I think that when the ICRE is redesigned is when the ICFE would start to be more rumored or actually be put out there. When that's going to happen, I don't know, because we've been talking about changing the or redesigning the RE for I don't even know how long. It's been quite some time. So it's not unrealistic to say that it could happen within the decade, maybe, but within this year or next year, probably not. All right, just touching on the new Vision, I'm still not sure how I feel about it. I don't hate it. I know some of y'all are just no, we don't want to see this at all. It's just a grill change. Of course, there are some other things, more technical aspects of it that got changed here and there. But I think that the grill is just gonna, it'll grow on me over time. I don't hate it. I don't really, I don't necessarily like it either. Maybe once I see one in person, that'll help me make up my mind. But I figure it's just gonna, grow on me over time. I don't know. All right, Bus93 said, with the new emission standards placed, the diesel buses could be phased out with electric ones in cities and towns, leaving some diesel for rural areas. Districts won't have a need to retire and replace buses because they won't be considered harmful. The price for a brand new electric school bus is expensive, but it will be an investment, saving them a large amount of money that can be used for other building renovation projects. With these new standards, I see manufacturers building these buses to malfunction to earn money. We can only predict what will happen, but won't know for now. Yeah, that's, I don't know. I don't know about that. That just seems like a lawsuit waiting to happen, and it's not ethical either to build buses that, or any vehicle, anything that would purposely malfunction so that you can keep on, coming back. Just, especially something that expensive, $80, $90, $100,000, purposely break every 5 years or malfunction every 5 years. Oh, time to replace this and that, or just buy a new bus, which is $10,000 cheaper. Bluebird 286 said, what I think is going to happen in the industry is that most of the bus companies from now all the way until 2022 will probably be way safer than right now by adding way more safety features to the bus's standard. And maybe I think that IC will change up the design a little bit more on the ICRE to make it a way cleaner design to the competition. And for Bluebird, they could also possibly maybe be coming out with a new design for the Bluebird T3 since they just came out with the updated design for the 2022 Vision, but who knows. Alright, so safety features I touched on in the last question of the month. I think that was one of the main things that I said in there. So yes, with all of the shenanigans that is going on, it would not surprise me if manufacturers or third-party companies start putting in, more safety features to prevent stuff like this. And maybe they could be talking about standard LED lighting or something like that, but more safety without all the stuff that we're going through. I touched on the ICRE earlier. The T3, I think, still has a little bit of time. I'd give it maybe 3 or 4 years until, I would want to redesign. Because still, I mean, I think the T3 looks fine. I think it's modern, it's sleek. And Bluebird does have a history of updating their All-Americans on a regular basis. So wouldn't surprise me if it's going to come out soon. But the major change this year was with the Vision, obviously, so I don't think that the T3 will be updated this year. John said, from what I've heard, IC will be putting the MAN diesel engines in their buses instead of Cummins. I think if DD5 sales are good, Thomas will drop Cummins, and Bluebird will put gas or propane engines in the T3. I will give you the last point. I would not be surprised if T3s started coming with gas or propane. For Thomas, DD5, I'm not sure, because the DD5 is more of a recent addition, so I think they'd want to give it a few more years until they completely drop that. And then I have not heard anything about MAN diesel. That would be something. That's wow. That would I don't know what to say about that one. Alright, Chris Safety Liner C2 said, what I think will happen when it comes to all districts buying brand new buses is that the 3 remaining manufacturers of the buses are going to improve the variety of propane, electric, and regular gasoline. So Thomas, for example, is decreasing the option of the Cummins diesel engine in the C2s. I've mostly seen districts buying the DD5 engines in the C2s. To be honest, that's just ridiculous because Thomas was doing very well with the Cummins engine C2. But I think Thomas should improve that more C2s should have Cummins. But I don't hate the DD5 at all. I have been around C2s having Cummins. That's why I prefer Cummins over Detroit. But there is one thing wrong to me as a big C2 fan. It's not just the C2 or any other Thomas bus. IC and Bluebird are doing the same thing. Every time a brand new bus has the Cummins, they do not include LED headlights, and they just put incandescent ones. And when Thomas puts the DD5 in the C2 and DD8 in the HDX, they put LED headlights. They should do it with buses with Cummins too. But yeah, I think that's what's happening to districts buying new buses. Thanks so much, Cam, for the video. You're welcome. I am going to categorize 90% of that as district/state specs. I don't think that just because you order a Cummins, that means you automatically get LED lights. I think that's something that you either get or you don't get, regardless of what engine you have. It's basically just a checklist. CSX8817 Production said, my industry predictions is that we get another bus other than C2s. In the past 5 years now, I'm hoping it'll be a Bluebird or an IC, and hopefully in the summer we'll retire our 2004 All-Americans. Bus Driver 11 said, well, to be honest, Bluebird doesn't need to change their grill in my opinion. I think that they're going to lose sales because of the grill, but maybe I'm wrong. Who knows, LOL. But what I would like to see happen is for really just for IC, like they just redesigned the IC Electric CE, and to be honest, it looks better than it did 2 years ago. Yes, it does. But since they're making all the changes on the instrument panel, it should be time to at least update the regular CE instrument panel to something along the way of the International MV has done it, and even possibly change the steering wheel up and maybe get the whole dashboard. LOL, just redesign the switches and just make it look like an even cooler bus to ride on. Like make it stand out more inside to make the kids like what they're riding, if you get what I'm saying, and possibly add the option for LED headlights, and like everyone says, redesign the RE, but overall I think they're doing pretty good. They just need to dress them up a little bit more like Thomas and Bluebird have. Most school districts are not going to care about what a grill looks like, if it's updated or not, so I don't think Bluebird is going to be losing any sales. People are loyal Bluebird customers, just like there are loyal IC and Thomas customers as well. The CE, I think it's just going to be left alone. Sure, it could use the updated stuff like on the new electric CE, but I don't think that's going to happen right now. The RE, obviously, yes, I've been saying that already. That is a necessary thing that needs to happen. And then on the last point, again, I think it's just specs. You only have so much money, so you can only spec them up as much as you can with the money you have. The Eric Free said, nothing, just nothing. I would like to see someone make a C2 knockoff, and it would possibly be electric, possibly a private company. Well, what would happen if Thomas released a electric safety liner C2? Well, they did, so that's already out there. I don't think that's going to be happening, but, you know, nothing? Maybe. Very well could have nothing happen this year. Bus driver 71 said, I honestly think that stuff like propane and gasoline will be taking over the industry more. Maybe less gas and more other alternative fuels. What's crazy is if you think about it, gas is like a newer fuel, and buses, they were originally gas. Then they went to diesel, now some are gas. I think Biden's plan is very much achievable if we put our minds to it. Just overall, simple, yes. And last but not least, Steven said, I think that IC will finally upgrade the cluster on the ICRE. Who knows at this point? On a more long-term note, CNG, propane, and electric buses will become more common over the years. Type A's may also probably go down when districts consolidate routes. Finally, I also believe that StarCraft will partner with Dodge again and produce low-floor buses, and then they buy out Lions and start making Type C's. Your comment was good, and then the word StarCraft popped up. No. Alright, and that is going to do it for the answers. As always, make sure that you leave an answer down below or send a video to me. Again, the stuff is in the description for that, so that you can get a free shout out and we can have a discussion about whatever it is that we're talking about. So this month's question, it should be pretty straightforward. I imagine that most people are going to have this same answer to them. And that is stop arm cameras. Do you have them? Do you think they should be standard? What do you think of them? Stuff like that. Just an overall broad view of them. Alright, so first off, do we have them? No, we don't. And a lot of districts around me, most districts in Arizona that I've seen just don't have them. I have seen a few here and there, but just not as many as I would like to see. Which brings me to my next point. Should they be standard? Yes. 100% yes. School bus safety is just so often overlooked, and you know, motorists who don't know school bus laws need to know them, because it is important and it can save lives. And there have been so many people who have been killed because you know, people run stop signs or red lights, you know, not paying attention to what is happening with the bus. And it's as simple as stopping for 30 seconds to a minute at most. And yes, I do understand that something like this is an extra cost, which is why a lot of districts don't have them, but the safety of the passengers should always be a top priority, and if that stop arm camera is what's going to help it, then, you know, put them on everything. Alright, and that is going to do it. Let me know. Stop arm cameras. Do you have them? Do you like them? Should they be standard? What do you think of them? All of that fun stuff. Let me know by either submitting a video or writing a comment, and I'll make sure to shout you out as long as it's relevant. So yeah guys, that is going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. Always appreciate it. Make sure you subscribe right down here. It's a magical red button that says you're now subscribed to Safety Liner C2. Make sure that you comment up here, down here, over here, or over here. I don't know where they put it. I don't care where they put it. Make sure you also give this video a thumbs up, or that blue light is gonna explode or something, I don't know. And make sure you also share this video with a friend. Show it to your mom, show it to your dad, show it to a guy in a random street. I don't care, don't let anything happen to you. So yeah guys, that is gonna do it for this video, and thanks for watching.